Hi there, folks. Welcome back to Pokemon Emerald. So, we're going to continue our way north towards Mauville City, but first we have encountered our rival, Brendan. Indeed, I have been raising my Pokemon. Let's go ahead and kick Brendan's ass yet again. Well, maybe. Who knows? Maybe he'll win, though I kinda doubt it. Although he does have one of the exact same Pokemon we do. But we've caught Margarita recently, so he doesn't stand a chance. Although, because it is grass/water type, electric attacks are only normal against it. Not that that matters much, it's still gonna tear it apart. I've mentioned this before, but Lotad and Lombre's stats are fucking terrible. I mean, they're just awful. Once you get a Water Stone and you fully evolve Lombre into its final evolution, then it becomes pretty good stat-wise. Well, decent, I should say. There are better statted Pokemon, but anyway. It does become a fuck-ton better is what I'm getting at. But Lotad and Lombre, they're terrible stat-wise. Their natural move pool is awful. They're really hard Pokemon to use efficiently because, well, they just kind of suck until you get them to their final form. No, should have used Fake Out right there and gotten a free hit off, but whatever. Luckily, now that Brendan's Mudkip has evolved into Marsh Stomp here, it is now Water/Ground type, probably the best Water/Ground type even still. Oh, that's gonna knock Martini, yeah, knock him right out. But anyway, Marsh Stomp and that's, its final form, Swampert, are actually probably the best Water/Ground types even still. So, yeah. Kinda sucks for me, but there again, that is a 4 times weakness to grass-type attacks, so whatever. Though that didn't help me enough, obviously. Again, should have used Fake Out. Could have gotten that extra hit. That would have been enough to knock it out, but whatever. Brendan, honestly, is just as pathetic as ever. If that is something that I will knock this game for, is that the rival battles are pathetic in this game. I mean, absolutely pathetic. Brendan here puts Blue in Gen 1 to shame. He puts the asshole in Gen 2, whose name I think is actually Silver. Puts him to shame. Brendan's pathetic. Anywho, I believe he gave us an item finder. We're going to see what that's... We're going to see how that works, I think next part, actually. Though, all it does is let you find items, which you don't even technically need it. But, yeah, it's pretty swell. I guess. I don't know. Anywho, it's a Magnemite! Magnemite being an electric/steel-type Pokemon, if you will recall. Which means I don't really have a Pokemon set up to take it out. So what does this mean? Well, this means we're going to have Margarita do it. What else am I going to do, you know? Even though it's not very effective, fortunately I am able to take it out. Margarita, at some point, learned the move Encore. And I figured I'd go ahead and show Encore here off, because it is actually a decent move, but a highly situational one. What it does is it makes a Pokemon continually use the attack they used last. So, like in this situation, that Magnemite used Metal Sound the turn before I used Encore. And by using Encore, that Magnemite will just keep using Metal Sound for a good 3 to 5 turns, I think it is. And it's better in competitive battling, but it's still a useful attack nonetheless. It's actually, not very many Pokemon learn it, but it is a very useful one. Anyway, we're on to Psychic Edward, who has a green hand. Who has Abra! I love Abra. Psychic types are not quite the beasts that they used to be, though. In Gen 3, in Gen 2, I guess, technically they started trying to balance the types a little more, because the fact is, Psychic type in Gen 1 was the most overpowered type. Admittedly, in Gen 2, they were still probably the most overpowered type. Psychic type Pokemon have pretty much always just been the beasts of the Pokemon universe. In Gen 3, they're a little more balanced, but they're still pretty high up there. Like, most Psychic type Pokemon, unless they're dual typed, are just gonna kick your ass. My personal favorite Psychic type Pokemon is one called Gardevoir, which was introduced in this game and is just a monster in every generation, but we'll see that at some point. But yeah, they started trying to balance out the types. They don't actually achieve this till Gen 4, though. Even though, and I've mentioned this plenty of times, Gen 4 is technically my least favorite Pokemon generation. It did get a lot of things right. It did do a lot of things right. And so, you know, and just because it's my personal least favorite doesn't mean it's bad. Make no mistake. People often misunderstand me when I say that. No, I think Gen 4 is pretty okay. It's pretty good. It's just, I like all the other generations better. I play it the least. And when I say Gen 4, I'm not counting Heart Gold. I'm talking Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. But it did get a lot of things right, I guess is what my point was before I got sidetracked. It fixed the attack system. It fixed the type balancing. It fixed a lot of stuff. Pokemon that really needed evolutions, or at least a lot of them, that were really in need of evolutions, got them. And, yeah, Gen 4 did fix a lot of things that the Pokemon series really needed. We'll learn more about this as this playthrough and Colosseum and whatnot go on. Because, yes, Colosseum is going to happen immediately after Pokemon Emerald here is done. But enough about that. We've encountered a new Pokemon, Whelmer. Yes, Whelmer. It is a giant bouncing whale ball. I'm trying to avoid making a disturbing joke, but I can't help it. I just said whale ball. It's a whale testicle. That's all there is to it. It's a whale's testicle. It's not that big, but it's big enough that, yeah, it's a whale stickle. And I apologize for that. Anyway, they have really high HP, and all their other stats are kind of eh. Its evolved form, I believe, is actually the biggest Pokemon in any of the games. Well, we won't be seeing its evolved form for a long time. But we will see it, make no mistake. Anywho, right here are 9 Nanob berries. Whatever the fuck those do. I have no idea. Maybe we'll find out, but I doubt it. A lot of these berries are useful more or less solely just for making Pokeblocks. Pokeblocks being something you use to feed your Pokemon for contests and stuff. A minigame that I've already made a bit of a mention of in last part of the part before that. And for the Safari Zone. I don't actually show off the Safari Zone, but I still have to record the post-game stuff because I'm not sure what all I'm going to show off. I may show off the Safari Zone there. I don't know. We got to wait and see. Anyway, the lady in that house asked us, well, she didn't ask us, but she said that she wishes she had a bike so she could go back to Slateport so that way she could get something called a harbor mail. So, if we had a bike, we could go get her a harbor mail. That would be pretty swell, right? Although we could just go back now, but, you know, what fun is that? We want a bike. Anyway, this guy gives us Rock Smash, which is an HM in this game instead of just a TM. Kinda sucks. But, it's there. But yeah, I'd love to have a bike, so why don't we just go ahead and get one? Well, what have we here? It's a customer. You may call me Rydell. That's a stupid name. Your running shoes, they're awfully filthy. Did you come from far away? Technically, no, because if you recall last part, we found out that Old Ale Town, which is just like 10 steps north of Little Root, is actually just across the pond. So, technically, no, we didn't come from far away. What's more, over half of the distance here, we actually rode on a boat, so, again, we didn't really run all that way. Anyway, he gives us a choice between a mock bike and an acro bike. Both bikes have their uses, and you can use them to get various items and shortcuts and shit like that. I chose the mock bike because you actually need it to get a legendary later on. Plus, it's just faster. Admittedly, I prefer using the running shoes anyway because, well, it's just habit. It's easier for me. I'm not a big bike person in this game. I'd much rather use the running shoes. But with the mock bike, or acro bike, you don't have to have the mock bike, we can now get access to the cycling bridge, I think it's called, which has a lot of triathlete trainers who I accidentally bump into. Seriously. I bump into them all the time. The only Pokemon these guys have, though, are Magnemites and Voltorbs, both of which we've seen, and both of which are pathetic. But the thing about the mock bike is it goes super duper fast, but its turning is a little, well, more than a little. It's actually pretty hard to turn with. But that's kind of the gimmick here with it. Because there are biking puzzles with the mock bike. It's supposed to be difficult to turn. Is that a good thing? Not really, but it is there. And admittedly, it's not that bad once you have the timing down. The thing is, you gotta get the timing for when you turn down. It's kind of like a delay. Like, the turning is a little bit delayed. Anyway, fuck you, dude. My cycling skills are fine. I didn't fall off the bridge, did I? Anyway, yeah, we're back at Slateport. How's that for fucking kick-ass? And now, I go and heal, because, again, all those triathletes I bumped into battled me. But anyway, we can now enter the mart, which, hey, it's the inside of the mart. We haven't seen this in forever. But you can buy a harbor mail. You may want to actually buy one before you get to Mawvile City, but I wanted to show off the bicycle and the cycling road, and I guess I'll show off me buying some potions, because I'm actually going to need them for the upcoming gym. But I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. So one good thing in Gen 3 here over Gen 1, because if you recall, Gen 1 had a cycling road as well, but one good thing about the cycling bridge, or whatever it's called here in Gen 3, you're not constantly fighting the hill trying to go up. Like, it's not a downhill course, it's just a bridge. Whereas in Gen 1, if you tried going up the cycling road, it was indeed faster than going from Fuchsia all the way to Lavender Town, but it did take a while because you were going so slow, because you're fighting and riding uphill, supposedly. So, yeah, it's a nice quick way to get from Slateport to Mawvile City, and yeah, it was worth showing. Anyway, now that we have a harbor mail, we can give it to this woman here for a coin case. Yes, we can now gamble. And, much like previous generations, you may want to go to the game corner and gamble. Once again, I don't really show off the game corner. It's the same thing it's always been, pretty much, just prettier graphics. But you can get TMs like Flamethrower, Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, Psychic. Hey, it's Wally! We haven't seen him since he caught his Ralts. Now, hold on, Wally. Since you started living with Pokemon, you've grown stronger. But don't you think you're pushing it? I'm not pushing it. If I combine forces with Ralts, we can beat anyone. I've gotten a lot stronger since we've met Gene. Blah, blah, blah. Yes, sure, let's battle him. He's in our way, after all. We need to get into the gym. So Wally here somehow got his Ralts up to level 16, which kudos to him, man. 4 more levels and he'll have himself a Curlia. At least I think it's 4 more levels. I'm pretty sure it's level 20 that Ralts evolves. But, yeah, Ralts really isn't much to worry about at this point. Atta girl, Pina Colada. Damn right you lost. So we just kicked Wally's ass. Now he's sad. And so he's going back to his uncle's house. Which, we'll be seeing that next part? Yeah, next part. Sure thing, Wally's uncle who lacks a name. We'll come visit next part. Oh god, it's sunglasses. I was watching the match. You freak. But you didn't hold anything back and beat him impressively. Fuck yeah. That's what being a Pokemon trainer is all about. I idolize trainers like that. I'll be cheering for you. Again, I don't trust this guy. He's got sunglasses, he's shady. Because he's wearing shades, you see. But, yeah. Anywho, this is the Electric-type gym. Yes, much like Lieutenant Surge's gym. And, we've seen everything in here. Like, I don't think we get to see a single one of these trainer battles. So, it's gonna... Whenever I have to leave and go and heal, it's gonna look like I'm just jumping for no reason. Because we don't get to see any of these battles. This gym's got puzzles. Oh, wait, but first... Pina Colada here reached level 22, which is great because that means Tailo gets to evolve into Swellow. Dun, 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 da, 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 da. That's right, we got Swellow, the evolved form of Tailo, an even better Pokemon. Its stats are very nice, its speed's really nice, it's a great Pokemon. Very underloved, I feel. And hey, this nerd loves shiny things. Oh! I was wrong! We do get to see a battle, how about that? This trainer has an Illumise, and I want to say his other Pokemon is a Volbeat. These are just bug Pokemon. They're kind of like Nidoran male and Nidoran female in that Illumise will always be female and Volbeat will always be male. Which is just kind of one of those things. It's like, what? Fun fact, Illumise was actually my first, well, I shouldn't say my first Gen 3 shiny that I ever caught. And I caught 3 of them in that playthrough. Anywho, one of the trainers earlier said that this place has got puzzles, but not really. We'll learn more about that next part. Anywho, folks, stay tuned for part 9, where we actually beat up the gym leader of Gym 3, Watson. I'll see you guys then.